After putting a set of coilovers together to lift the Volvo last summer, I wanted a way to protect them through the winter. Anyone from a snow state knows that as soon as salt touches fresh components underneath the car, they're just toast. They're going to rust, they're going to seize, and you'll never touch them again. While I fully understand this, and it's not a show car by any means, I didn't want them to look like trash after just one winter. After a little poking around the internet, I found that many companies sell these coilover covers or spring bags, and they're sold for the exact reason of protecting your setup through the winter. They were cheap enough, I found a set that fit my iBox springs, so I figured, why not? I did make a quick video last fall of installing them. There's really nothing to it, you just Velcro it around the spring, make sure it doesn't move around, and drive through the winter. So that's what I did. It's not like I wouldn't have done this if I didn't have the coilover covers, but, you know, I had to make sure I really put them through their paces. It's now May, and there's enough pollen on the car that I think winter's over. I don't think we're going to get any more snow, so I'm going to go ahead and pull them off, and we're going to see if they did anything at all. I do want to give a quick overview for those who aren't familiar with what's going on here. It's not a typical coilover. On your typical coilover, you'd be able to wrap the bag around the entire spring. Because this is a coil spring sitting in a stock spring seat, I can't do that. The top of the spring is sitting in the spring seat is too big to get the bag around, so I've just got it on the uppermost coil that I could put it on. My concern with this versus the typical application is that the top is open, so if it's low enough and it allows any dirt or debris in there, now it's trapped because the bottom is sealed, and that's probably worse than not having it covered at all. Here's an additional shot for specificity of my car and the lift and the tire setup I have. I'm running 205/70 R15s, and I've got about a finger's worth of clearance between the tire and the strut bag. To my knowledge, there wasn't any interference or rubbing all winter. I did periodically check it, but once I get the bag off, we'll put it on the bench and we'll just scope it out and look it over and see if there's any problems. Here's one final shot of them on the car. You can see the Velcro holds up. They are a little grimy and dirty, which is to be completely expected. And again, I'm not trying to keep these coilovers showpieces, I'm just trying to slow down the rust a little bit. To provide my viewers with the best possible coverage of this coilover bag removal, I have broken out two cameras to give you two different angles of removing this thing and give you my honest opinion as I take it off, because I have never removed it either. I'm stoked to see what this coilover looks like. To be completely transparent here, this looks incredibly awkward because I'm trying to use one hand to undo the Velcro. I can't use two hands and even get a single camera in there. There's just not enough room in the wheel well. That being said, taking these off, my first impression is I cannot believe how clean these are. I honestly thought these were going to be junk, garbage, just snake oil, whatever you want to call it, and this video is going to be telling you to not buy them, and I am pleasantly surprised that that is not the case. Getting in a little closer here, you can see that there's some grime and dirt, maybe some grit on these threads here, but that might have been present before I put the bags on. If you remember that first video, this was a last minute thing I did, so I didn't clean anything, I just slapped them on because it started snowing. Looking around, I see no rust or corrosion, I don't see any paint chips that would lead to things rusting and corroding, and that was my whole goal with using these things. So as far as I'm concerned, they perform their job flawlessly, and I would honestly recommend these to anyone that wants to run them, snow state or otherwise. They just keep your suspension components clean. Looking at these off the car, there is absolutely nothing wrong with them. They're dirty and they're grimy, but I took no effort to keep them clean, so I don't expect them to look any different than this. Nothing is worn through, nothing is ripped or torn. The elastic is in great shape. The Velcro is in great shape. On the inside, you can see some dirt along the top, but remember that's because it was open, it was just wrapped around the spring, it wasn't around the spring seat like it would be on a normal application. Seeing as there's absolutely no damage to the bag itself and they did everything I wanted them to, I plan on running them next year. I'll say it again, anybody that wants these should just pick them up. They're so easy to take on and off, and they seemingly work flawlessly. If you're going to buy a set for yourself, the only thing you've got to worry about is the size of the bag fitting over your setup. In my experience, a lot of the listings have dimensions, so it's pretty easy to confirm that, and a lot of the coilover manufacturers offer these for their setups anyway. I'm sure if a coilover manufacturer offers a bag, it's probably pretty easy to confirm that it fits on whatever setup you have. So there you have it, these things actually work. I was hugely skeptical and honestly a little concerned that it was going to trap every bit of moisture and grime inside of it and just accelerate the wear of the strut and the coil spring, but thankfully that wasn't the case. I will say that I won't be running them consistently through the summer, if for no other reason than I love the way the suspension looks. Walking up to the car and you catch a glimpse of that coil spring in the wheel well, it's just too cool to keep hidden behind a bag all the time. Plus, they're so easy to take on and off that if I do want to throw them on for any off-roading or mudding or something like that, I'll just slap them on, go have some fun, and take them off when I get home. If you are interested in purchasing any of these, check out my description for my Amazon affiliate links. I threw a couple links down there for the iBock and then just a generic search. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and I earn a little bit of commission if you make a purchase. If you have any questions or your own experience with spring bags, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear it. I hope you found this video informative. If you want to check out how I built the setup for the Volvo, you can check out that video here. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.